Teach me and preach to me and show me what I'm lacking. Scold me and moan me, my failures are so taxing. So teach me and preach to me, this time I'm asking. Oh, won't you show me just how you left so fucking miserably?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm TWK, and welcome to TWK Reviews, where I review whatever is on my mind. And today we're taking a look at a bunch of NES games. Why? Just what I'm feeling like at the given moments. And we're going to be taking a look at them thanks to the Nintendo Switch, which is basically the only way I'll be able to play these games. Legally speaking, that is, of course. You know, it's also legal? My Patreon, patreon.com/TWK Reviews, and my Plus Ultra patrons, that being Bobbert, Castaneda of Bobbert Reviews, and Ricky Relic. Thank you so much for your support. Now, before we begin, a few ground rules to put forward. Number 1, if I die and reach a game over, then we're moving on. If I lose a sports game, then we're moving on. Or if I just get bored of the game, then we're just going to move along to the next game. So that's how things are going to work for this video. So, don't expect anything too deep. Let's just have fun and play some games, shall we? First off, yes, it has indeed been quite some time since I last used the Switch's online service to play NES games. At least this means that most of these will provide completely new experiences for me. But now the question becomes, what will I start with? What will be first on this list of games to play? Alright, the original Super Mario Bros. Just good old running and jumping with no real gimmicks needed. I always forget just how much momentum Mario carries whenever you stop running. It's kinda trippy because you don't expect the first ever NES game to have a physics engine. What is this, a 2D Half-Life game? And I know for the fact that just me saying that means there's going to be a 2D remake of Half-Life on Steam in T-minus -30 seconds. And sure, I died a few times on the first level, but let's just see how long I last on 1, 2. Mother effin' fucker. You know what? If you would have been there, everything would have been jolly. Okay. Let's try pro wrestling. That's gotta be decent. And if you've been following this channel for any length of time, then you'll know that I'm a bit of a connoisseur of the theatrical performance known as professional wrestling, or as it's known in Japan, puroresu. So it kinda plays like a predecessor to Fire Pro Wrestling, which is timing based, but because it's the NES, that doesn't leave a whole lot of options for moves, and it isn't long before I'm staring at the lights. I will give the game credit though, this is still a million times better than WWF's first attempt at an NES game. Wait, what's this? A special edition of Zelda 1? Alright, I may not be a big fan of Zelda 1, or Zelda 2, or basically any 2D Zelda game that isn't Link's Awakening, but you know what? What the heck? Why not? Let's give this game a good old college try. So I ended up spending most of this game aimlessly wandering around the map, not knowing where the hell to go, but I had a ton of items and a powered up tunic from the start, so that made traversal easier at least. It's just a shame that it's so easy to get lost, and not in the fun way either. I did eventually find my way into a dungeon, level 2 to be exact. Things started to pick up until I entered a room with a Dodongo. I got it to eat one bomb, but due to its erratic movements, I ended up running out. It was at this exact moment that I hit a crossroads. I could either leave, restock, and return, or I could just give up altogether. Huge apologies to the fans of Zelda 1, but thankfully there were better games released afterwards. Especially this one! How about some baseball? Yeah, America's favorite pastime. I've honestly always found that phrase to be a bit odd, even going back to my childhood, because even back then I knew that more people watched football over baseball. I mean, hell, even pro wrestling is more patriotic than baseball. We had a wrestler literally called the Patriot. Rest easy, good sir. You served your nation proud. Anyways, the game is just baseball. Really slow baseball. It got boring after the first inning. Because it's baseball. So, Mario 1 may not have been my cup of tea, but what about Mario 3? Oh man, I love the number 3! Unfortunately, I fared even worse here than in the original Mario Bros. I blame the fact that these Joy-Cons don't have an original D-pad on them. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. Look at this. This ain't a D-pad, these are buttons. Who uses buttons to play 2D platformers? Like, I know for a fact from just playing Mario Maker that I am way better at 2D Mario than this. Regardless, a game over means I must move on. Lay Sai. On the brighter side of things, how about some boat racing? Eliminator Boat Duel was released in '91, so extremely late in the NES's lifespan. I have no idea what's going on when playing, just a bunch of random camera changes, which means the mechanics change on the fly. This left me more confused than a competent developer working for Konami. In the end, I lost to a hippie, which is basically the story of my life. Somehow, I think. Oh, you know what? There has to be one. There has to be just one NES game that I can actually enjoy with legitimate enjoyments, not forced enjoyment just for the sake of this video, right? Right? How about ice hockey? Hey, hockey down! Man, you cannot tell this is a Red Wings mask unless I do one of these numbers. Not the best craftsmanship, I have to say. I chose Poland due to my partial heritage and went up against Canada, and I'll admit, the game was tough at first, what with Canada getting the lead early on. But I was as determined as Chad Gray, so spit out all reason. And blood. Because hockey. I eventually came back with the lead and held it going into the third period. By the way, I enjoy this Zamboni animation. You gotta love all these little touches in the NES games. And I would also like to take this time to apologize to any Toronto Maple Leafs fan watching this video at this given moment. If you don't know, then you just don't know. Trust me, if you know, you know. If you don't, then sorry, it's just gonna have to go over your head. Nevertheless, the third period was close as fuck, and I barely got away with a win. And you know what? This was easily the most fun I've had in my 30 years of existence playing an NES game. So thank you, Nintendo R&D 2 and 4, for making literally the only NES game I've ever enjoyed. And that is the video, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between and outside the gender box. Thank you so much for watching it, especially my Class 1B patron, Casey Nicholas Moore, aka the Evil Reverend. There we go, got all my plugs out of the way. Oh, except for one, and that being, of course, New World by Greg Haynes, available right now on Amazon.com. This is not ad, this is just a plug for a friend, because that's what friends do, they help each other out. And you can buy the book yourself, either digitally or physically. And I think that's it. I think I got everything. Not forgetting anything, I believe. All my social media links are in the description down below and all that snazzy jazzy stuff. And next time, we're going to be visiting a big city. What city is that? One that isn't as interesting as the one that came before it.